What is up, guys? James Carter TV here for yet another edition of my 32 teams in 32 days 2015 NFL season preview videos I've been making throughout the month of August. Today, we are talking about the Buffalo Bills. Now, Bills fans are very excited because they got Rex Ryan and they have a new era going on, and they went 9-7 last year. And oh my God, look at our defense! And oh my God, okay. And there's reasons for optimism here, but you guys need to calm down. There's still an issue on your football team, and it's the biggest issue of all, the biggest issue you can have in professional sports, and that's quarterback. And that's an issue. But we'll get into that later, and we'll talk about it. All this whole team will look at your strengths, your weaknesses, and then I'll give you a win-loss prediction. Now, the biggest strength on this football team, to me, I'll give it to their defensive line, although now it's not the same defensive line as it was last year, because obviously you guys are switching from a 4-3 back to a 3-4 because you guys were a 3-4 before. On that defensive line, having Marcel Darius, having Kyle Williams, two elite defensive linemen down there, that makes it a great position. Now, you do have Jarius Wynn starting at the other defensive end position, who's not great. But when you have two out of the three are elite and great at their position, yeah, your defensive line is pretty freaking good. You also have outside linebackers in Mario Williams and Jerry Hughes. Yeah, they're going to get after the quarterback. So very strong front seven in terms of pass rush. Now in the middle, you have Bradham, and that's a good player, but you also have Brown starting at the inside linebacker position. I don't know what to expect from him, but overall, this is a very formidable front seven, and it's definitely the strength of this football team. From there, next strength I'll give to running back, although today or yesterday the news came down, they released Fred Jackson. But regardless of that, you still have LaShawn McCoy. You drafted Carlos Williams out of Florida State. I guess that's why you felt the need to release Fred Jackson. Maybe Carlos Williams has been impressing them. He hasn't really impressed me in preseason, but either way, LaShawn McCoy is enough to make me say, yes, this is a damn good running back position you guys have here. Your secondary, is that a strength? It's a very small strength. You do have Stephon Gilmore, who I really like, and Leotis McKelvin, who I really like. Corner is a little bit of an issue. You have Roby there. You drafted Rondo Darby out of Florida State. Your safeties, Aaron Williams and the other Williams as well, the free safety position. Bakari Rambo, who won't play. The safeties I don't know about. The slot corner I don't know about. But Gilmore and Leotis McKelvin, okay, fine. Yeah, those are guys that I know you're going to get from them. You're going to get good production out of them. That's it. That's it for the strengths of this football team, but that's a good amount of strengths to have for a football team. Now let's get into the positions that are kind of in the middle. I look at offensive line. You do have two good pieces in Cordy Glenn and Richie Incognito, assuming Incognito is still playing at the level he played last time we saw him, which I believe he will be. All right, so then you have Eric Wood at center, who's okay. You're starting John Miller, who you drafted, or you might be starting him, either him or Craig Urbick, who started last year at right guard, who's not very great at all. And not that he's bad, he's just very pedestrian. And right tackle, I think Chantrell Henderson appears to be holding that down. He did not play well at all last season, so that's an issue there. So overall, you have some good players on this offensive line. You have a bad player in Chantrell Henderson if he's still starting. Maybe he improved, maybe. But or maybe Cyrus Kouandjio can get into the mix as well. And Cyril Richardson as well as a guard could get involved. It's not neither a strength nor a weakness. It's just kind of in the middle. It's just kind of okay. Same goes for your wide receivers, although it's closer to a strength than your offensive line is, because I really do like Sammy Watkins. I really, really do. And I think that he was overshadowed by Odell Beckham Jr. and Mike Evans. But hey, Sammy Watkins is still pretty freaking good. So, and also Robert Woods. I mean, sure, that's a pretty below average number two, but it's not awful. There's plenty of worse number two wide receivers out there. Percy Harvin in the slot, okay. If he's healthy, I mean, he's not going to be healthy. He's not going to play 16 games though, so forget about that. Then the weaknesses on the football team, the biggest one, the most obvious one, the only one to me, really, is their quarterback position, and it's a problem. And let me tell you a story real quick and why this is such a big problem. Right now, you guys are starting Tyrod Taylor. I think the word came down. You guys are starting Tyrod Taylor, which is good because at least you're not starting Matt Castle, who You need to remember, Matt Castle was the starting quarterback for the 2012 Kansas City Chiefs. A Chiefs team that had Tamba Hali on defense, that had Derek Johnson on defense, had Justin Houston, had Eric Berry, and had Jamal Charles at the running back position. Doesn't that kind of sound familiar? A bunch of pass rushers, a Pro Bowl running back, Pro Bowl defensive players. Yeah, that team went 2-14. Why? Because Matt Castle was at the quarterback position and because their head coach was kind of an idiot. So with that said, guys, if your quarterback position is bad, you need to understand that you really could be bad. Even though you could have 6 Pro Bowl guys. Like that Chiefs team had 6 Pro Bowl guys. Jamal Charles, Eric Berry, Derek Johnson, Justin Houston, Tamba Hali, and Dustin Colquitt, who was a punter, but still. You can have 6 Pro Bowl guys, but if your quarterback sucks, you could be 2-14. And it's just that simple. Now you're starting Tyrod Taylor, who is a question mark. Now, during the preseason, we've seen him make plays. We've seen him run around a little bit. We've seen him throw a nice ball here or there. I'm not trusting him. I think if this guy was that great, he would have won the damn position battle early in camp. He would have been the starting quarterback for years now, probably. And I can't feel very comfortable. Now, your guys did look good. Your quarterbacks looked good against the Steelers' defense. You shredded them. Now, that was the Steelers' defense. You didn't look good against the Cleveland Browns' defense. You looked pretty freaking bad. So, I don't know what to expect from your quarterback, man. So, with this said, this is going to be one of the largest win-loss deficits I've had in terms of best case and worst case scenario. But real quick, let's look at the schedule. Guys, in the AFC East, I think the Dolphins and I think the Patriots are better teams than you. So they're going to give you issues. But you could still beat them in Buffalo. So I'm not going to discount that. You guys are a better team than the New York Jets, although I don't think you'll sweep them. So I think you're probably going to be about 3-3 in your own division. Then we're looking at you guys also facing the AFC South, including trips to Tennessee and to Jacksonville and hosting Houston and hosting Indianapolis. You guys could do well here. Now, I don't really know what to expect from the Jags and the Titans. You guys could lose there. They're going to be interesting because you don't really know what, I don't know, at least maybe you do. I don't know what those teams are going to do this season. I don't know how much of a formidable threat they're going to be in their own fields. I think you'll lose to Tennessee but win in Jacksonville. That's just what I'm saying. I mean, because I don't know what to expect from them. But I do think you'll beat Houston, and I do think you'll beat Indianapolis. I really do, week 1. Also, a key part is week 2 against the Patriots. You host them. You host a Jimmy Garoppolo-led New England Patriots, and I think you'll take advantage of that. Now, you guys also face the NFC East, including trips to Philadelphia and Washington. I think you'll lose in Philadelphia, but I think you could win in Washington because I think Washington's going to be pretty freaking bad. But you host Dallas and you host New York Giants. I think you can beat the New York Giants. I think you'll have trouble against the Dallas Cowboys. You also face the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. Those will be tough, especially the Kansas City Chiefs is in Kansas City. I think that's a trouble game for you. But the biggest problem, again, I don't know what to expect from your quarterback. And it's an issue and it's a problem. And I don't think it's going to be as good as Kyle Orton was last year. And that's not saying much. So what am I predicting? Okay, best case scenario with this defense and with Rex Ryan, you guys could go 10-6. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the schedule isn't very difficult. Your defense is really good. Your running back is really good. Your offensive line has some issues, but can block at least for the running back. Worst case scenario, your quarterback problem really hurts you and you go 5-11, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, again, there's been teams with 6 Pro Bowlers that have won 2 games. So I don't think you guys will be that bad though. Worst case, I'll say 4-12. Worst case, I'll say 4-12. Because, guys, again, with the quarterback, if you have a bad quarterback, you're opening yourself up to a possibility to having wide ranges of best case and worst case scenarios. Now, my prediction is 7-9, and Bills fans are going to be very disappointed. This is a 2-win deficit from what you had last year, but I can't trust this guy. Now, maybe you can, maybe you're high on him, and that's great, and that's fantastic for you. I can't trust him. And until he goes out in the regular season and he shows what he can do, I'm not trusting freaking Tyrod freaking Taylor. And I'm sorry, I'm not. But you guys will be 7-9, and you'll have an opportunity to draft a quarterback next year because there'll be plenty to draft next year. But for now, I think it's 7-9 for the Buffalo Bills. Until next time, James Carter TV, I'm out. Peace. Okay.